im se svima, i malima i velikima, i bogatima i siromašnima, i slobodnjacima i robovima, dade žig na njihovu desnu ruku ili na čela njihova, te da nitko ne može ništa kupiti ili prodati, osim onoga ko ima žig ili ime zvijeri ili broj imena njezina.
Pozdrav, dragi narode, dobrodošli u još jednu epizodu Slobodni. Današnja tema je globalni događaj i javno-zdravstveni događaj i sve ono što je povezano međusobno i kako to implikaciju ima na našu budućnost. Moj današnji gost istražuje i stalno prati te stvari i evo imam čast da ga ponovno ugostim kako bi vama prezentirao što se događa, kakvi su odnosi, kako je on proučio i što je zaključio, a vi naravno kao i uvijek u mojim emisijama ćete sve vidjeti, dobiti informaciju i sami prosuditi što s njom učiniti. Već ste ga imali kod mene u emisiji, a njegovo ime je gospodin dr. Heiko Schöning. Hello Heiko, welcome to our show in Croatia again.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thanks for the good work from you and your team.
Thank you. Well, it seems to that you have some very important information to share with us. So let's start. Let's not lose any time.
Great, yeah. So it's very important, and it's very important that we do it international. And this is the first time I will tell this in English. So it may be a little bit rough. I'm not a native speaker, but we will go through the topics. So I've got 3 topics. The first topics are spies. Second, controlled opposition. And third is a false flag narrative leading to World War III. False flag narrative leading to a war, the West against China.
Just for people who doesn't know what means false flag. You know, there is a people who doesn't know what false flags means.
Yeah, so it's a lie. A false flag is a lie in order to create a reason for a war. Yeah. So it happens nearly in every war that a war is starting with a lie. So you need a reason to attack a country and to tell your own citizens, yeah, well, we are the good ones and the other are the bad ones. And you tell a bad story about the others.
Yeah, we can say one example from 1939. When German invaded Poland, and it was some kind of false flag before it, because they took uniforms from Poland and attacked themselves, and that's how it started.
This is right, yeah. This is the action Operation Gleiwitz, exactly. So Nazi Germans, yeah, took Polish uniforms and saying, hey, yeah, this happened, yeah. And even for younger people here, so there's a very famous comic in the world, a comic series. It's called Tintin, Tim und Struppi. Yeah, and there is the comic Tim and the Blue Lotus. Yeah, it's very famous. And in the middle there is a false flag pictured, because another example for a false flag was in 1931. So the Japanese blow up a railway. Yeah, and said there was a massacre done by the Chinese. And Japan invaded China in 1931. And this was depicted by Hergé in Tintin. So everybody can look it up. What is a false flag? And yeah, guess what? Today, I will tell the reason how the United States of America, with their West allies, yeah, and the oligarchs behind this, they are planning a war against China. And the reason, I will tell it now straight, the reason will be that China attacked the West, attacked Europe, and attacked the United States of America with a bioweapon. And it's COVID-19. Mm-hmm. And this is exactly what is now going on, what is this kind of lie, this false flag is building up. So first, there's evidence for this on the homepage of the White House in Washington. If you go to White House .gov, you will see, like a Hollywood website. It's called Lab Leak, with Mr. Trump in the middle. And if you read the story on the website, you will see, there is the Wuhan deception, They say, they made an investigation with the Parliament, with the Congress of the United States, and they said, it was not a natural cause of the SARS-CoV-2 virus in Wuhan, no wet market, no, it was a lab leak from a bioweapon lab in Wuhan by the communist China army. It's BLS-4 lab. What they not said is this lab was financed and was run by the Americans plus the Chinese for all the years. So the Chinese military and the American military, they worked together, and even the CIA worked in Wuhan. And this is very important to understand. So, because this false flag is a lie, and what the U.S. government, the administration of Trump, some of the guys inside, they tried to establish a reason, and in German, we call this die Wuhan-Verschwörung. So, and this is the title of the second book of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And if you look at the German cover, you will see, this is a flag of China. You've got here, the stars and the red background. And what I will try to tell is that the secret services of the West, like the MI6 and the CIA, they placed, from the beginning, from 2020 on, they placed a second story with this COVID-19, with the SARS-CoV-2. The first story and plan A, this was, SARS-CoV-2 has a natural cause and was from a wet market. So, and all this vaccination, the lockdown, and the quarantines was built up on this story, but this was false. And the second story is false as well. The second story is a lab leak story, so that it was leaked from the Wuhan bioweapon lab by the Chinese, in criminal intent. So they wanted to kill people. And there's one man who said this publicly very early, in early January 2020. So just when there were only a few cases of these so-called infection with SARS-CoV-2, and there was a man, a bioweapon expert with CIA connections, and he said publicly, the SARS-CoV-2, this is a bioweapon, and it's out of the lab, and it's an attack intentionally by the CCP, by the Communist Party of China. And who was it? It was Stephen Hatfill. I've got Stephen Hatfill depicted in my first book, Game Over, Anthrax 01, COVID-19. So I know this guy for a long time. And I can show you here. So all what I'm saying today is mounted on paper, and we have all the evidence, with all the sources and the original documents in this book. And it has also 2 DVDs with additional information to support all the things. And Stephen Hatfill, he is inside. Mm-hmm. And you may show now the a graphic. Graphic number 5 first, and there you see there was a special edition by Steve Bannon.
Okay, let's Steve roll this. Please put this graphic 5. Yes, we see here that said special episode 5, War Room Pandemic 3 seconds until midnight. Dr. Stephen Hatfield.
Exactly. Yeah, and this was early
30th of January 2020.
Exactly. So January 2020. Yeah. So very early. So only a few cases in China. Yeah. China has so many people, and and they care about some lung infections. Yeah. So it doesn't make sense at all. And yeah, Stephen Hatfield told this. Yeah, we have even the voiceover. I will do it. So he told Steve Bannon, yeah, this is a bioweapon. The Chinese did this intentional, yeah, in order to, let's say, to poison the West, yeah, and to kill people in the West. And he said this was spread intentionally by China. So he said they make lockdowns in Wuhan and other big cities in China, yeah. But on the other hand, he said the Chinese Communist Party sent people, infected people, to India and to Europe, yeah, to infect the world. So this is a war of, that's an act of aggression. That's a reason for war, of course.
You said that it's false flag. It's not truth.
Yeah, it's not true. Yeah, I want to say it at the beginning. Yeah, and very interestingly, in this interview with Stephen Hatfield, with Steve Bannon, Stephen Hatfield said on record, said on camera, yes, he said, well, and we will need 200% of normal hospital beds plus in the West to cope with it. And we will need 400% of ICU beds, intensive care beds in the hospital, he said. Wow, 4 times more than the States has got. Plus, and this is very interesting, he said, we will need 400% more ventilators. Wow. Mm-hmm. And this on the 30th of January 2020. So it looks like that he had some pre-knowledge because, yeah, the ventilators, you know this story in 2020. This was set up all over the West, in the United States and in Europe, and even tobacco companies, yeah, like Philip Morris and British American Tobacco, yeah, they gave free ventilators to countries like Greece, yeah, and yeah. In a recent interview, what I gave last week, I showed all the steps how they killed with the treatment of COVID-19, not with the SARS-CoV-2. They killed with the treatment, like the ventilators killed the people.
Yes, that we now know that that wasn't truth, and there was not so many ICU needed and ventilators. Everything was overrated, and they both everything, but it wasn't necessary. They spent lots of money, and somebody earned lots of money. But let's continue.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, and I would say we prepared a video. Yeah. So let's play the video from the gray wall. It's video number 1.
Number 1. Okay.
It's 2 minutes. 2 minutes 20.
Yeah, we have here video number 1.
Great.
Explain us what we see now.
Great. So what we see is, so the governments of the world told us COVID-19, yeah, and SARS-CoV-2 is a killer virus, and it kills a lot of people. But the big question is it really a killer virus? Because there were not so many dead bodies at the beginning, yeah? And this was a big question mark, yeah? Is SARS-CoV-2 really a killer virus? Because even now, there is no real evidence for this, yeah? But they said this. Mm-hmm. So, and if you think that it's all pre-planned, yeah, and with a worldwide panic and a pandemic, so they need dead bodies, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And SARS-CoV-2 was more or less an illusion. But how they produced the dead bodies? And there was a person, it's called Anthony Fauci,
yes,
the head of the, let's say, health in the United States. And he said, well, we need to cure COVID-19 with ventilators. Yeah, even very young people were treated in hospitals very aggressively with ventilators, and the hospitals got a lot of money for this. And it's known by all medical doctors, after a few days, nearly everybody will get a bacterial infection, with these ventilators. And even young people will die. So there was a peak, in the dead bodies. And after this, when the doctors said, okay, we will not do this anymore, so there was a peak. And then Dr. Fauci said, okay, now we've got a new medication called remdesivir. And this was a medication from Gilead. And the boss of Gilead was a former Secretary of Defense from the United States. This was Donald Rumsfeld. And it's very poisoning, remdesivir. And this killed the people as well. Yeah. So this was the first things and the first steps in the West, how the dead bodies were produced. So
the video is finished. Let's conclude it. That means they killed them with ventilators first in the start, and after that they implemented remdesivir. I know in Croatia remdesivir came in July. I think it was 12th of July when they started to use it. Before that, there was no excess deaths, and after that, it seems to that things have changed. And I know I saw the papers from Ministry of Health where they start to use remdesivir in Croatia on July of 2020.
Yes. Well, and now, please show graphic number 1. Yeah. There is depicted Stephen Hatfill again. So Stephen Hatfill, he was a man who told
graphic number 1.
Steve Bannon, that we will need 400% more ventilators. Yeah, who? So Stephen Hatfill.
Please put graphic number 1. Exactly, first graphic that you have.
Yes. So on graphic number 1, it's a screenshot from Children's Health Defense. Yeah, and it's an article. So the top HHS advisor was fired, and he claims agency insiders trying to overthrow Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Just a second. Let's put
Secretary of Health.
Picture. That's picture with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. You and him.
No, graphic number 1 is the article with Stephen Hatfill.
Oh, I haven't put this. I haven't put this. Okay. Graphic number 1. It's still the same thing, like in the war room.
Well, again.
Steve Bannon and Stephen Hatfield.
Yeah. Yeah, we have something else. Perhaps you will find it. So it's a white article with a blue flag and the face of Stephen Hatfill.
I didn't download this article. I didn't know that it should be downloaded. Okay, let's continue without this article. Just explain what happened.
Okay, I will do. Because Stephen Hatfill, so who's this person and how this story evolved? Stephen Hatfill, was until very recently, he was very close to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and in the Ministry of Health in the United States, in the so-called HHS. Yeah, but the Chief of Staff fired Stephen Hatfill. Yeah, just recently, and Stephen Hatfill got surprise. He got help from the Washington Post and was able to place an article and told his story to the Washington Post, and even the New York Times supported Stephen Hatfill. Yeah. And they claimed, this was not right, that Stephen Hatfill was fired. And Stephen Hatfill said to the Washington Post and the New York Times, he said, there is a coup against Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Yeah. So, but Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he fired himself via his chief of staff. So there is something very fishy going on over there. and it's very important to know who is this man, Stephen Hatfield. And especially in the Enlightenment movement, so in the freedom movement in Europe in the last years, some knew about Stephen Hatfield because he popped up out of nothing in Europe. He was brought up by Robert Malone in 2021 in Rome in a very good financed Congress in 21. We were all suppressed, but they were able to make a good Congress. And even they were invited to the Italian Parliament in 2021. And it was Robert Malone who managed this. And he had a team from the United States, 3 people, and it included Stephen Hatfield. And they brought him to the stage.
I think it was International COVID Summit 1.
Exactly.
I know. I remember this. Yeah, because I was present in International COVID Summit 3 and 4, and it was one in the Rome. And I remember they put one big, huge statement, and this statement was read by Robert Malone.
Exactly. Yeah, and there was another one in in East Europe. There was in Bucharest.
That's right. I was there also.
Yeah, you've been there also. So you have seen Mr. Hatfield because he was there. Yeah.
Okay.
But he was only there in Europe where I was not. Yeah, because I'm very sure they knew that I knew about his background. Yeah, and I told some of the freedom fighters before in advance. I told the story about Stephen Hatfield and the story about Malone as well. And so there were some freedom fighters are very surprised to see Stephen Hatfield over there. Yeah, so in fact they were shocked. Well, but the shocking news is that he was announced some weeks ago in Brussels in the European Parliament on in a freedom fighter session. Let's say like this. He was announced as the chief medical officer of Bobby Kennedy, of the HHS.
No, he was. Whom? No, they tell that he is a member of this board, a vaccine board, who is deciding about vaccines. I don't know exactly the name of the board, but he was presented there as a member of this board, not as a. I was there, and I was listening his speech, and he was coming as a, we can say, advisor how to build up, make Europe healthy again, accordingly how they done it in United States, make America healthy again.
Yes, yeah, this was, and the man who put or who highlighted Stephen Hatfield before, this was Dr. Asim Malhotra from Britain. Mm-hmm. We will show some evidence on this. But first, so who's Stephen Hatfield? This is very important. I have it in my book. So Stephen Hatfield, he is a racist, and he was involved in the mass murder killings first in the 80s in South Africa and Rhodesia, and then in the United States with the anthrax attacks from in the United States, from 2001. And he was named a person of interest, so the suspect. And I can tell you, this was just fake. He played a role, and he got a reward. So he played this role for nearly around 5 years, and he got $1 million from the U.S. government, for playing this role. Because then he sued the government, and guess what? He got more than $5 million. So I think everyone in the freedom movement would be happy if the Croatian government or the German government, would be so
generous.
Giving so much money would be so generous. But Stephen Hatfield got it.
What was his purpose in this?
He has a really racist background, and there there's a good English movie, and it's translated to German and French as well for beginners. And Stephen Hatfield is depicted in this. It's called The Anthrax War. It's done by France in 2010 by state media, by Arte. It's a German and French state media TV station. Yeah, The Anthrax War. On German, Die Antragsdealer.
Okay, what is now role of this new movement in Europe, make Europe healthy again? And you mentioned here people that I know, they were my guests also, and for sure, after we made this interview, I will ask them to reply, to say what is their opinion about this. That's very important because I always want to hear both sides. But what do you think? What is this role of make Europe healthy again?
Well, first, it's as the term indicates it's a Europe franchise, let's say like this, from Make America Healthy Again and Make America Great Again. So that's it. Yeah. So it's a Trump movement, and I depicted this in my first and second book. So Trump is not a good man. Yeah. So he's part of the mafia. And just another mafia from the Obama mafia around from Biden. So they are, fighting each other, but it's clear organized crime. So Trump is no good one. So Make America Great Again is not good at all. And it was not a good idea at all from Bobby Kennedy, to join Trump and to join the Trump administration. I supported Bobby Kennedy until he was when he was an independent candidate. But I said from the beginning, even if I think Bobby Kennedy is good from his heart and want to defend children, it's not a good idea to be in the American government with Trump and be responsible for massacres like in Gaza, and all the other murders, killings near Venezuela and in Iraq and so on. So it's not a good idea at all. So and these this Make America Great Again, Make America Healthy Again. This is spreading now to Europe, and from the CIA to the MI6. First to make Britain healthy again. And
you want to say that behind this organization is standing CIA and MI6?
Well, it's very likely, and you can choose and see the evidence by yourself first. So I think now, we will show graphic number 4. So you see Miss Dr. Malhotra, and giving in September 2025, so just recently, he gave again an interview with Times Radio. So the Times, so the very mainstream oligarchic thing. And if you now display video 4.1,
there's below saying that RFK Junior advisor Trump's condition and why you turn on mRNA vaccines. That's headline.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay. Let's play.
And we will.
Let's play this video with this interview, please.
Great, Dr. Asim Malhotra, thank you for being with us. Appreciate it. What's the thrust of what you're going to say this weekend at the Reform Conference?
Thank you, Kate. So actually the title of my talk is How to Make Britain Healthy Again.
I wonder where you got that from.
Well, they actually asked me what would you like to discuss or what do you think would be good? And I thought, obviously, considering that I've had a role to play in the the movement in America with Make America Healthy Again, I thought that would be ideal. But also it reflects essentially my advocacy work and research going back probably a good 15 years. So I do have a lot of experience, I think, in this area, certainly in terms of how do you improve quality care in the NHS, how do you improve public health? These are all my areas of interest.
What is going to make the headlines, do you think?
Wow, I suppose there's lots of different potential headlines. I think that, well, the theme really, I think the elephant in the room, Kay, that hasn't been addressed is the fact that medical knowledge is under commercial control, but most doctors don't know that so much. I think it's about a realization during the pandemic that we had been misled, things could have been done better. And the question is, how can we identify the problem, the root cause, which is what I'm here to do that. And often I was in February 2021, I was on Good Morning Britain, having had 2 doses of the Pfizer vaccine, encouraging high-risk people, elderly, people from baby communities to take it. So for me to change mine was not easy. But once I looked at it, I was like, okay, there's a problem here. And because of my history in looking at the whole issue of Big Pharma and calling for inquiries through the Daily Mail, through the Guardian, through the I newspaper, going to the European Parliament, way before the pandemic, the penny dropped for me. I was like, we've been here before. Okay. So because of the mRNA vaccine and also cancer, Angus Dalgleish is this country's probably most eminent oncologist at St. George's Hospital. I spoke to him just before I came here, and I've been working with him. He's been public about this already. And he said to me, Asim, one of my greatest concerns is we know now from studies there are at least 13 different mechanisms of how the COVID mRNA jab can cause cancer. So, Kate.
What is your role with MAHA, with the Make America Healthy Again Institute, let's just call it that?
So I'm a medical advisor to MAHA Action, linked to the Institute, which is essentially a grassroots organization that is there to look at research, education, and legislation when it comes to what can be done to make America healthy again. My initial role was potentially to be, I know Bobby Kennedy wanted me to be in HHS, to be a medical officer, maybe his chief medical officer there, but because of the America First policy, the White House came back and said no foreigners. So this.
So you couldn't work directly within Trump's administration, but you're working for MAHA, which is
peripheral,
officially,
peripheral.
Yeah.
But I have personal relationships with Bobby Kennedy. I have a very good relationship with Jay Bhattacharya, who's the director of the NIH. I'm in regular communication with them, and several months even before all of this, going back the last 6 to 9 months, they have received and asked for specific information from me about how we make America healthy again, and I've given them that.
Have you had any dealings with the current UK government?
Unfortunately not.
And when they were...
I would like to.
Comment.
Okay, may you repeat?
What is your comment on this interview of Asim Malhotra?
Well, in the end, so I don't know what kind of role he is playing. If he's just a greenhorn, and rely on politicians, and don't know what's going on in the world, or if he's really a spy, I cannot say. But anyway, he is not qualified to be the leader of Make Europe Healthy Again. And this was the session where you was there in Brussels, with Robert Malone, with Malhotra, so with a lot of good people I know, like you, So, but with a high risk for some, to be useful idiots,
Heiko, just let me tell you, I'm just a journalist, I'm not the doctor, and I cannot say if Asim is qualified or not. You are the doctor. That means my role here is differently. I'm coming as a journalist, and as you see, I here giving opportunity to discuss about making show and try to inform my viewers about this, and that was my role also there, because I'm not qualified for anything else.
Exactly, So, and one of the fishy things is, if you go to the website of Make Europe Healthy Again, is there is a long advisory board. So many names on the advisory boards, and with good
my
names,
name is also there. I know.
People will trust. And I was quite surprised.
My name is also there, and as I told you, I didn't know that it was there. You told me, and I saw, but I'm not giving any advices because I'm not qualified for any of this. But let's continue. Okay, let's see.
But this, just to have it on the record, So names like you are on the list that you are a part of this advisory board, but you're not. And I called a second one, and said, hey, you are on the advisory board. And this person said, they asked me, and I said no, and they're on the board. On this list,
But we are not receiving any money for this board. There is nothing official there. I didn't sign anything. That means if somebody put me on this website and I saw they did, that doesn't mean that I really signed anything and I have any function there. But I don't see that is relevant about this activity of make Europe healthy again. The relevant is what they're going to do and what is their purpose there. And I want to discuss about this. This is important.
Yeah, this is important. So the thing is, so the question is, what you think? What is the elephant in the room? Yeah, and Malhotra said again and again. So, well, it's just a commercial problem. So that medicine is under commercial control.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, what kind of news this is? Commercial control. Oh, the pharma lobby has influence. Well, this is not what happened with COVID-19. Yeah, what happened with COVID-19? Yeah. It's a big worldwide crime, a pre-planned crime, plus it was a military action. So Sasha Latipova exposed this in January 2023, for instance, on a congress in Stockholm. I was there, 300 people. Robert Malone was sitting next to me, so we heard this. She exposed, that COVID-19 was run by a military action. Yeah. So Pfizer was not producing a medication. They were ordered by the Pentagon to bring a military prototype with no studies, no legal liability.
Yeah. Well, Sasha Latipova was also my guest, and exactly that was the topic. She explained everything, that the COVID dossier, this document, and also I made one short video for Croatia and explained everything. And this video was really shared, I think, about 15,000 times. That's huge. It's hundreds of thousands of views this video had. That means I know lots about this topic, and whoever wants to see can go in my website and listen to interview with Sasha Latipova.
Yes, right. And Sasha Latipova is a very good one, and she's very critical on Robert Malone. I don't think we have the time to go into the details to Malone today, but we will focus on Malhotra, and we will focus on Stephen Hatfield and Steve Bannon. Yeah,
and we have to focus on this connection to the World War III. That is the most important thing.
Yes, exactly. And now, but first we will finish off with Malhotra. So please, video number 5. Yeah. Okay. We see he said, well, so it's not a big problem. Yeah, it's just a pharma lobby, so commercial.
Just a second. Let's see this
commercial control
video of Maxim Malhotra number 5. Just a second.
Yeah, great.
Here is this. That was September 2025. Policy Party Reform UK. Neil Farage is host.
Yes, Nigel Farage.
Thank you, David. It's a real honor to be here. To Nigel and Reform for inviting me to speak today. His chief medical officer, Stephen Hatfield, told Steve Bannon he was involved in this, he called it a mega-analysis of all the data, hundreds of studies, peer-reviewed studies showing the harms of the mRNA vaccine, and he said the side effects of this gene therapy was so enormous and progressive, it was difficult to fathom. The millions of molecules of mRNA entering the cell is creating biochemical havoc, it's disrupting protein metabolism, it's interfering with tumor suppressor genes, it had to be stopped. It's highly likely that the COVID vaccines have been a significant factor in the cancer of members of the royal family. What I'm telling you today is nobody is immune to medical misinformation. For vaccines, I spoke to the chairman of the British Medical Association in December 2021, and I told him what was going on. He said, Asim, nobody appears to have critically appraised the evidence as well as you have in terms of his colleagues in health policy and senior people. He said, most of my colleagues are getting their information on the COVID vaccine from the BBC. Think about that. The power of the media to shape the way we think, right? And who is ultimately controlling that narrative? And I'm proud to say that I'm the chief health advisor to Action and World Health, co-founded by Nigel Farage and by David Roach. And if there's one person in this country who is speaking up for truth, for honesty, for integrity, who can disrupt the system, and that's Nigel Farage, and we need to get him into number 10.
And if there's one person in this country who is speaking up for truth, for honesty, for integrity, who can disrupt the system, and that's Nigel Farage, and we need to get...
Well, Heiko,
Yes.
let's go and try to explain people. We need to explain them. Now, what is connection and what is this, as you said, preparing for World War III with China? How they are planning to do?
Yeah, so actions, were by secret services. So it's psychological warfare, And so what I wanted to show with the last video is, so Malhotra used his very short time, in this election campaign on the stage to present Steve Bannon and Stephen Hatfill. So Steve Bannon is the chief ideologist of Donald Trump, and Steve Bannon is a hater of the Communist Party of China. We will show another video evidence on this. And that Malhotra is highlighting Steve Bannon, Stephen Hatfill. This is so suspicious to do this. So there are only two options. He's a greenhorn and don't know anything about Stephen Hatfill and his criminal background with the anthrax. So with the anthrax bioweapon attacks in South Africa, Rhodesia, there were killed more than 180 black people, and 10,000 were severely ill about this, and 10,000 of cattle. This was a very dirty war in Rhodesia, and Stephen Hatfill was there and got his medical license from Rhodesia, and then he worked in the bioweapon industry in New Samrit in the United States, where the anthrax attack material, officially was coming from. So this is the Ameritrax FBI case, with 5 murders. So and it's Stephen Hatfill inside. But again, before, Stephen Hatfill and Bannon, they said in January 2020, oh, we need the ventilators, and it's a bioweapon from China. And if you just Steve Bannon is really a fanatic, and he wants a war with China. And if you play video number 2, just the beginning and the end of number 2, he has got a gangster rap song on his website. So you should listen to Steve Bannon.
Let's roll a few minutes of this, not whole one, but let's roll
Miles,
first
go now.
1 minute.
Taking down the CCP for the people of China, for the people of the United States of America, and for all mankind. Honored to be working with all of you guys. Let's crank this.
Everything's just beginning for the games you want to play. Bring it on and I will fight to the end. Just watch and see. It's all started, everything's begun, and you are over. Cause we're taking down the CCP. Spread the word all through Hong Kong. We will fight till they're all gone. We rejoice when there's no more. Let's take down the CCP. They have all life for too long. We will end what they do wrong. Spread the word all through Hong Kong. Let's take down the CCP. Let the bullets fly a little longer, and you will surrender. Let the bullets fly a little longer. We will have freedom to live. We will win. You'll surrender. Let the bullets fly a little longer. Let the bullets fly a little longer. Let the bullets fly a little longer. Let the bullets fly a little longer.
干灭中国共产党这个 CCP， 还能让我们远离恐惧。Take down CCP.
They try to scare the nation with fabrication, but we see through the lies. We won't fall, we will fight you back. Police corruption with crooked assumption. They ran our lives, but no more. We will win. We will take down the CCP. Spread the word all through Hong Kong. We will fight
promotion for a fight against China. How they are planning to do?
Well, you need to enrage the citizens, the people, yeah? So, and they want a war with China. They're saying this since long years. If you listen to the administration from Trump, Steve Bannon, and all the things. So, and the question is how they do this. Yeah, we heard already that they say, okay, there are tensions with Taiwan in the South China Sea. Yeah, so and we, the West, need to defend the old opium mafia. The right-wing government from military government from Formosa, from Taiwan, yeah, and we need to defend this. And but this narrative is of course weak, yeah, because to be honest, so I think no European and not a lot of people from the States would like to defend Taiwan against China because there's a one China policy. Every time, yeah? And even the United States said it's only one China. And the first 40 years from after the Second World War, the United States said the little island of Formosa, this is Great China, and they have a place in their Security Council in the United Nations. And then after the beginning of the 70s, after the Korean War and the Vietnam War, yeah, this was a war against China because it was a war at the border of China, yeah. Mr. Kissinger and Mr. Nixon flew to Beijing, to the capital of China, and say, "Okay, let's work together because there's a remis, there's equal in the wars in Korea and in Vietnam. Yeah, so we cannot win. So they came together since the 70s, and the West was building up China. Yeah, so." And even in the Security Council of the United Nations, it shifted to Red China, yeah, to mainland China. And they want, as a part of China, they want Taiwan, yeah. And this is clear. So there was every time a one China policy from both sides. But the lobby, the old China lobby, here on Taiwan. They have a lot of money. They have a lot of connections in their Congress, in the United States, and so on, and in Israel here, in the Israel lobby, and they're spending a lot of money to prevent this. That mainland China is grabbing Thailand, and again, to be honest, so the West will not make a big war against mainland China out of Taiwan. So, what will be the reason? Yeah. So how you can shift, yeah? So the hate from the West to China, and I tell you what is Plan B, yeah? Plan B from the beginning, yeah, was COVID-19 is a mass murder, yeah? SARS-CoV-2 is a bioweapon out of Wuhan, out of the communist China bioweapon lab. And there were only some perpetrators of the US who helped them. And now it's out, yeah, who are the scapegoat from the United States. It's not Anthony Fauci, yeah. Donald Trump let Fauci go, and even Kennedy is not able to grab Fauci, yeah, and Biden gave him permission for everything, yeah. Now it's Peter Daszak from EcoHealth Alliance. Yeah, it's on the Congress papers. You can read this up in Lab Leak. Yeah, so they will tell it's China intentionally, like Stephen Hatfield said with Steve Bannon in January 2020. It was intentional. So yeah, all our freedom movement, and there comes make Britain healthy again. There comes make Europe healthy again. All the freedom movement, all the good spirit from the people, they want to bring into the other direction. Away from their Western governments and from the Western bureaucracy who helped with this mass murder with COVID-19, to China, to a faraway enemy. Okay. And if you think this is too far away, this could not add up. Just think of Russia, yeah? with all the years, with all the propaganda, now we know, oh, Russia is the single perpetrator for everything. So, yeah, they made the Ukraine war unprovoked. Yeah, so there was no Maidan putsch by the CIA, no $5 billion US dollars by fuck the EU, Victoria Nuland, and so on. No, it's all Putin, it's all Russia. And now what we are seeing in the next months and years, and this is what I'm warning, I'm calling all the people to investigate this and be aware of this, especially in Europe. Yeah, so don't fall for this anti-Chinese propaganda, and in the end that we need to go to war not only against Russia and even against China. Don't fall for this, because this is a false flag.
Heiko, just for the end, what do you think? Why are there need war with China? What they want to accomplish with this?
Okay, there we need an additional hour. But in the end, it's about the financial system, I can tell you. Yeah, it's about the fiat money. So the biggest trick in the world is that the central banks, yeah, they are private, controlled, and they are able to print money out of nothing. We need to work all our life, and the central banks manipulate the amount of the money to make it scare. Yeah, but money isn't scare. So yeah, and they control all the things. So Professor Richard Werner, yeah, he made a very good book, Princes of the Yen, and it's a good movie out of this, a documentary in English. Yeah, Princes of Yen. I can recommend this. So again, to answer your question, it's about the fiat money system, and this is broken. Yeah. It's in the last stage, and they need a great reset. And the great reset is a financial great reset. And they need a false flag, like with their health dictatorship. They tried it from 2020 to 22 because of our resistance, yeah, in Europe and all over the world. It failed. This was plan A, and now comes plan B, war. War against Russia and war against China. That's it in a nutshell.
Well, thank you, Heiko. All these people that you're mentioning, they were also guests of mine, and they were explaining these things from the financial side. And I also had Martin Armstrong, who said the same thing, that Europe needs war with Russia because they went to bankruptcy, and they need somebody to blame on for their failures. Thank you, Heiko. Thank you for your investigation. Thank you for spreading the word. For sure, I'll offer also Dr. Malhotra, because I know him very well, to reply. Maybe he doesn't know what is really happening. Maybe he doesn't know what is background of this guy. And this is the chance to find out and to maybe think over and see what is really happening behind. And well, I'll see each other soon.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm open for discussion and open for dialogue with anybody. Thank you very much indeed.
I hope they will accept it. Evo, dragi narode, evo još jedna priča globalna koja je vezana sad za Kinu. Čuli ste priču koja je bila tu u mojoj emisiji. Gospodin Martin Armstrong je objasnio zašto Evropi treba rat sa Rusijom, da jednostavno Rusiju optuže za sve financijske nevolje koje su tu zbog pogrešnih politika. I evo, sad svjedočimo svakodnevno kako se pokušava uspostaviti mir u Ukrajini, a izgleda da im ne uspijeva, i imam neki osjećaj, i one što pratim vidim da Europa nije previše zagrijana za rat, jer kako može biti recimo Francuska koja je sad prodala 100 aviona Ukrajini, zašto bi ona bila zainteresirana da taj rat stane? Dakle, to je veliki biznis. Kao što vidite, i taj biznis je rađen na razne, čini se, kriminalne načine. I mi smo svi žrtve toga, ali evo, mojim emisijama pokušavam raščistiti, razjasniti. Ovdje se radi o tome da je gospodin Heiko povezao ljude koji u svemu tome sudjeluju, povezao vremena i njihove moguće motive i ciljeve, a ja donosim te informacije ovdje, naravno, kao i uvijek do sada, Vi ih uzmite, provjerite, imate gdje pročitati knjigu, imate otići pogledati tu emisiju kod gospodina Steva Bannona, imate također intervju kod mene gospodina Malhotre, imat ćete dakle gospođu Sašu Latipovu, zatim Richarda Wernera. Svi su oni gostovali i objašnjavali svoje. Meni ta slika izgleda dosta dobro. Dakle, meni to izgleda kao da sam uspio veliki dio dijelova mozaika posložiti, dovesti u emisiju, pa se onda slika globalna izgleda, već se naziru crte što bi se moglo dogoditi, a mi kao dijelovi tog globalnog tržišta i na kraju krajeva Europske unije ćemo sigurno biti sudionici na način da želimo ili ne želimo. Da li će nas uvući unutra ili ćemo se sami dati, to visi najviše o nama. Nadam se da ste bili zadovoljni sa današnjim gostom i emisijom i uskoro se vidimo u sljedećoj epizodi Slobodni.
Nitko vas neće natjerati da se poklonite zvijeri, učinit ćete to svojevoljno, odbacujući vjeru. Bićete laka meta za zvijeri, jer se niste podredili vjeri. Ako se ne podredite vjeri, podredit ćete se zvijeri. Toliko ćete se suobličiti sa ovim svijetom, da nećete ni prepoznati da ste u zabludi. Biće to najveća demonska prevara ikada i pravedno zaslužena osuda nad nepokajanim grešnicima.
Gdje su svi oni koji su